This might be the last week of truly building our bus. Our goal for this week is to move in. We still have kind of a lot of projects to finish up before we can make that happen, but this is just a mad dash to get all the loose ends tied up and start moving in. We got a little bit of a head start this week already. We came in late at night, put in the rope trim. It didn't take us very long, and we didn't film it because honestly, I didn't expect it to look as good as I think it does. I thought it was just gonna be like a kind of final touch, but I actually really like it. I think it makes the space much more cozy and looks more like a home. We also put around some vines. We've seen other people do that, and we just thought it was such a fun idea, so we put some in with our rope trim, and we love how it turned out.
We really didn't think it would be this easy to put up all this rope trim. We've seen a lot of people struggle with it whenever they use glue, so we just bypassed that step entirely and we just used a nail gun. It was so quick. We had no issues with it. We just couple nails and we were done. And we even put up way more than we thought we would. We thought we'd only have it on the front and maybe like above the kitchen area, but we went ahead and ran it along the entire cabinet area and in the back, and I think it looks really good, especially with our LED lights. We still have a good bit to do before we actually move in, but we are definitely doing that this week. The main thing we need to do before we move in is the rest of the flooring. The garage mat is done. We just have a bunch of subfloor in the main living room. We will be covering that with a bunch of vinyl planks. Kind of fun story about these. These came with the bus when we bought them. The previous bus owner had laid down a whole bunch of these vinyl planks and then he sold it to us. So when we first got the bus, first thing we did was we ripped all these up and we kept the good ones. So I think now that we're at the end of our projects, we're gonna go ahead and reuse these and just put them back down in the places that we want them. But before that, there's a little bit of an obstacle in the front portion. Basically, we kept the access panel to the engine open by basically creating a piece of subfloor that is able to be removed. We did the same thing for the fuel tank access, but that was much smaller. And it's underneath the couch at this point, so it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. But for the engine access hatch, it's a little bit too tall, so it basically just causes a little bump, and that's not been a problem until now, where we actually need to install these vinyl planks. So I'm gonna take that up and see if I can't replace the wood that we used with a little bit of smaller wood, just so that we can have that nice flush floor, even when we put vinyl planks on top of it. So we're just wrapping up some last minute sweeping before we start putting in the floor.
The moment you've all been waiting for.
Oh my gosh, so bad.
It's funny, you know it. You just didn't think of it first. We have been waiting to do the floor last. I think a lot of people put in the floor first. We kind of have been saving it for last because, well, there are a lot of little reasons, but it's been nice just being able to drip paint on the floor and not have to worry about making a mess. So the subfloor looks disgusting. I can't wait to cover it up. And right now I'm glad that we didn't put our vinyl planks down at the beginning, because I think we would have either destroyed them or wasted a lot of time trying not to.
I think we also would have wasted a lot of vinyl planks because I think like 80% of the floor is now being covered by furniture or the bed or the garage area. All right, so it's time to put in the floor. The moment you've been waiting for.
See, it's funny.
No.
No.
scratch up the new floor.
Please don't. I think we broke the number one and probably only rule in laying vinyl flooring, and it's not to do this. We left about an inch gap near our dinette, so the quarter rounds aren't quite big enough to cover it, but we're going for ease of access at this point, and we're flying through these, so I'm gonna count that as a win, and we'll do our best to cover up these imperfections.
Man, these are a lot more fun to put in than I anticipated. It might just be because we're getting close to the end and they're starting to look like something, but it's cool. It's fun, like how they snap together. It's kind of satisfying.
Alright, we have finished our big short list of everything we wanted to do before we started moving in this week.
I think we're gonna get started, but it's a little late in the day, so we probably won't fully move in until tomorrow. But tomorrow is like move-in day.
It feels like we've come so far in the past week just by putting in the last couple touches of painting and the floor. The floor is insane. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just, it looks like a different bus in here. It's just unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it doesn't look like a bus anymore. It looks like an RV, which is really cool.
Yeah, for sure. The floor was definitely the final thing. It looked like a construction zone before, and after it's a home.
It's our home, Natalie.
We did it.
We really did. All right, are you ready to start packing?
Oh gosh. I got butterflies when you said that. Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Let's start moving some stuff in.
Just barely fits.
Then how do we get to the bottom? Like we literally can't even get to the bottom.
I think it's workable. So I'm thinking, just do this. Oh yeah, I see the problem.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty big problem too, right?
Yeah, it's a big problem. So we hit a little bit of a snag with the refrigerator. We were planning on having the handles facing the hallway, but we had to install it the other way around, and it ended up fixing a couple of issues, but it's not what we were hoping for. It wouldn't work the way that we planned because when we tried to open the door all the way, it would hit the cabinet faces before we could reach the full range of motion, which would mean you have to hold it open the whole time that you want to pull food out. Also, you can't remove the baskets inside while it's in the drawer. So we needed to be able to open the doors all the way, so we had to put it in the opposite way that we were planning, but I think this is all right. We were initially planning on putting a cabinet face on here and making it like a fake drawer, but I think this refrigerator is kind of pretty, so I don't really mind having it on display. I think it looks nice, and I think the cabinet kind of frames it. It's almost like a fireplace, but yeah. I kind of wish we could have opened the doors the other way, but it's not a big deal. We'll get used to it. It's a minor inconvenience. We're kind of on a hill right now, so it closes itself, but it shouldn't do that normally. made the same thing for lunch every single day, and that's turkey sandwiches. This reminds me of our camping trip, but everything looks so different now.
It feels like we have 20 times as much space.
And running water.
Running water. It basically feels like we have air conditioning, but that's just because it's a nice day out.
Just because we took so long to finish building that it got cold out.
Tastes even better in the bus.
We're just sitting here kind of looking around, admiring the bus, and the bedroom is kind of catching my eye. That looks so nappable. It's super dark back there, and the weather is great today. It's probably the best weather possible, honestly. It's completely ideal for me. I'm just looking back there and it looks so cozy. If we just had a mattress, I think I'd take a nap right now.
So we are done putting in all of our food, and we have so much room left. We separated everything into like dense food, which is like we've got protein bars and packet noodles and things like that. We kind of stored those together. And then we have breakfast items, and then we also have a snack pantry. And we went ahead and put the bread with all the snacks. And I think it fits pretty well. From the start, Natalie wanted to make sure that all of our bagged chips goes in that snack pantry because it is a little bit more closed off than everything else. So hopefully we won't have a bug issue, but you know, we'll see. And everything else we put in what we call cold storage, which was underneath the couch. It was kind of a pain to get to, but you know, we have to use it. You know, there's only so much storage. But even with all that, we have an entire overhead cabinet pretty much unused. We have an entire section ready for plates and whatnot. And then also the drawer under the microwave has not been touched. It's completely empty. We might not even use that for food. We might use that for, you know, camera equipment or any other daily things that we might need to pull out, since it is so front and center. But the only thing left is the clothes and of course the mattress. After we bring in the mattress, there's no going back though, because we have to cut a whole corner off of it to get it to fit into that back area. So that should be fun. I've kind of figured out that Natalie and I like to say that should be fun when you know, that should not be fun. So if you hear that more in this video, that's why.
We're just whining.
Yeah, we're just whining. Alright, we're gonna get started on that.
After a nap?
After no nap. No time for nap.
It's bedtime. Well, I mean, it's mattress time, but you know what I mean. We did it.
We did it. Your hands are very sweaty.
I know.
Jeez. I don't want to hold your hand, but I'll hold your... Wow, your arm's very sweaty too.
I'm just real sweaty in general. Oh my gosh. That might be just the ultimate final test of strength and agility to get this mattress in here. But it's in. Now we get to put on our brand new bedspread that we bought just for this.
I've never had a duvet cover before. I think I've had a duvet, but maybe not a cover for it. It's super comfortable. This is so nice. It is real thick and plush. It is, it's probably the most comfortable thing in the bus right now. So we've mentioned it a few times, but we decided to cut off the corner of the bed to make room for most of the shower wall. And I really don't think we're missing out on much. I think I'll be the one sleeping here on this side, so my head will be against this wall. But I kind of like that idea, since I can like kind of prop the pillows up against it and like rest on it, you know? Like I can have like a headboard, I guess. Since we don't really have a headboard now, since we have a nightstand instead, which is still great, don't get me wrong, but I get both. I get like a nice little nightstand and a headboard. And I'm by the light switches and the heater control, which I think is good because I think I'm usually the one that wakes up first. I can start warming up the bus before Natalie gets up. Or if she doesn't get up fast enough, I can hit the light switch and wake her up myself.
So before we go to bed, we really want to test out our new window coverings and see how black out they make the bus from outside. I am so proud of my little window coverings. They're doing great. We have every light on in the bus and you can't see anything outside. It's awesome how black out they are. This is kind of our first official test with the window coverings because I just finished making them last week. I thought it was going to be kind of a 1 or maybe 2 week project, but there are 16 windows on this bus that I had to make a covering for. So I finally finished them and I think it really paid off. These are great. All right, we're heading to bed. The night we've been waiting for like 2 years. Our first night in the bus for real. But we'll catch you guys in the morning for breakfast.
Good morning, guys. Coming live straight from our first morning in the bus. That's just so crazy to say. We finally did it. And I've got to say, unironically, last night was the most comfortable sleep I've had in months. It's crazy. We set the alarm. I think I already pushed it back an hour more than I usually do, and then I snoozed for another 45 minutes. It just felt so good. The sheets that we got were perfect. The temperature was amazing. 2 days ago, the low was like 70 to 80, so it was still kind of hot. The low today was 57, so it was just crisp, but real nice under the sheets. So we have officially stopped building. We have moved in our clothes and our food, and we've stayed our first night in the bus, officially. But we're not part of the Skoolie van life community yet. There's one thing we're missing, and that is a coffee montage. Now, I don't drink coffee, but Natalie does, so it's still legit, and we'll make something for me as well.
Is it as good as you hoped?
This is better than I ever would have imagined. Remembering back to when we installed the lights or the plumbing or even the diesel heater, like those were huge moments for us. But just having everything be done at the same time and, you know, we can use everything at once, it tops all of those things, just having everything ready.
It's just crazy because we've had so many small triumphs, and we felt the sense of accomplishment throughout the build, but it's just so satisfying to feel like a sense of completeness.
We haven't experienced our first flat tire. We haven't gotten stuck anywhere. We have not gotten lost or went down the wrong road and had to back up 3 miles. We haven't done any of that. But we made coffee in the bus, so we're becoming more official.
Yeah, it's starting to feel real.
But we sincerely appreciate everyone watching and following along for this long. I think this video will officially wrap up our build series, and next week we'll kind of start playing around with newer travel vlogs where we want to kind of showcase our day-to-day life in the Skoolie that we spent 6 months to build.
I know it's going to be a huge learning curve. There were a lot of things that we anticipated, but I'm sure there are more things that we haven't. Thank you so much for watching our journey up until now, and we hope you stick around for our future videos because we have some pretty cool things planned. So
thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
bye!